Hi YouTube. I just wanted to come and make a very short video for you guys, and this is actually kind of a continuation from my last video, which was called Keep Your Eyes Off the Things of the World. And these aren't all the scriptures that I wanted to share. I don't know. I mean, I don't believe it should be a part 3, but this was just something else that I came across in my reading this week that kind of made the same point I was making last time, okay? So here I'm talking about Luke chapter 12. And what's going on here is Jesus is telling a parable to the people. And I believe he's also talking to some Pharisees or something as well, if I remember correctly in this story. Yeah. So and he's just telling the parable of a guy who got caught up thinking his work was done once he had attained many things and thought that was the end of the work. And it cost him a very big price, okay? Before I get started, I would like to say to my brother PP Johns, I truly, truly appreciate the comments you leave and the insight you give me, as well as you taking some time to share some of your wisdom with me this past week. It means so much, and it's been so eye-opening and just giving me another direction to look for truth and hopefully share truth, okay? So I love all of you guys. I appreciate you taking the time to watch my video, just to even click on me. And I hope we can fellowship together and get something good out of these few scriptures. So what I'm talking about is Luke chapter 12. And again, like I said, this is just Christ telling a parable to the people, okay? And I'm going to be reading verses 16 through 23. And verse 16 begins with, "And he spake a parable unto them, saying, The ground of a certain rich man brought forth plentifully." First things first, this man is already rich, and God is still giving to him, right? He is still bringing forth plentifully from the ground for this man. And we all know that nothing us humans can do is going to make anything grow out the ground. The Most High God is the only one going to make a ground yield for his people. And even in that one verse, it kind of makes me think, like I was saying in the last video, the Lord must love this man. He's already rich, and the ground is still just yielding for him, right? So verse 17 says, "And he thought within himself, saying, What shall I do, because I have no room where to bestow my fruits? And he said, This will I do. I will pull down my barns and build greater, and there will I bestow all my fruits and my goods. And I will say to my soul, So thou hast much goods laid up for many years. Take thine ease, eat, drink, and be merry." And I'm going to stop right there at verse 19, okay? Now, I know you guys, just like I do, see the problem building up right here. One, he is taking credit for something that was given to him by the Most High God, right? And he's feeling like, well, I have enough for a couple of years. I'm prepared. I'm stored up. All I have to do now is just get back to living. I'm going to eat. I'm going to drink. I'm going to be merry. I'm going to go about living my life. And whatever work he had to do up until that time, in his mind, what was going on? It was over. It was done. It was nothing else to be done, okay? And to me, this was what I was talking about in the first video with David and Solomon and even Lucifer. Once they attained all these things, they were already rich with gifts and understanding and truth. But once God bestowed gifts on them, they took their eyes off the work that they should have been trying to finish. See, just because we get blessed by God doesn't mean the work is done. Once we get what we want, now we're done. We can just kick back and chill. Especially in these here last days, it's not an option, especially not for us servants, okay? So verse 20 says, "But God said unto him, Thou fool," don't forget it, because those other three I was talking about in the last video, they were fools too, God bless them. "Thou fool, this night thy soul shall be required of thee. Then whose shall those things be which thou hast provided?" So God is saying, you're such a fool. You don't even see that you have stopped a work that I need you to complete. And it's going to cost you your life, right? Now, you have all these things, and you have all this fruit and goods, and you finna build another place to store all this stuff to last you all these years, right? But who's gonna get it now? Now that you're gonna die, who is it gonna go to now, right? Verse 21 says, so is he that layeth up treasure for himself and is not rich towards God, right? And we can even take this back to Egypt, right? When Joseph interpreted the dream for Pharaoh and he knew that they needed to store up. Yeah, they needed to store up. But didn't Pharaoh advance him? Didn't he promote him, right, to like the second head guy in Egypt? His work wasn't done just because he was able to interpret the dream, right? Because he was able to come up with a plan to provide for all these people through the famine, right? He still had to do what? Distribute it. He still had to do what? Work. He still had to be what? Used of God. So once he had a plan and he had the storage built up, his work was not done. That's not how it works. As I said before, the book of Matthew tells us when Christ comes, he wants to catch up. He wants to see us still working. And that's what my brother PP Drawings was helping me see. I already had the idea, but he just like solidified it for me. And that's why I greatly appreciate the information he just gave me, okay? So verse 22 says, and he said unto his disciples, therefore I say unto you, take no thought of your life, for your life, what ye shall eat, neither for the body, what you shall put on it. The life is more than meat, and the body is more than raiment. Okay, now that's verse 23, so that's the end of the reading I'm going to do. But Jesus is telling this parable why? To explain to them that having food, having clothes, having things that are outwardly seeming satisfactory is not true riches towards God, right? True riches towards God is what? Get an understanding, gain wisdom, use the gifts you've been given to go bring others into the body of Christ, right? Help them to see that they have gifts. Help them to see that all they have attained is not all there is for them either, right? And I say that because, as I said in the last video, so many people who I love dearly have touched something they should not have touched, and it has costed them their lives, have taken their eyes off of the work that needed to be completed in them, whether it is being in service to God or raising their children or, providing for their families, whatever it was, attained just enough to make themselves happy and thought the work was over, and it has costed people their lives. Now, you guys may not know people in that circumstance, but I know at least 3 people who I have lost that I love very dearly to those same scenarios, okay? So I just kind of wanted to talk about why it is so important that we keep our eyes on the unseen, right? What is unseen? You can't see wisdom, right? But it can keep you from losing your life. It can keep you from throwing all your money away. It can keep you from shacking up with a strange woman, right? Right? You can't see understanding, but it can get you out of a pickle, right? So, and knowledge. These are things you cannot see, but they are true riches, right? Getting an understanding of what God has called you to do. And I don't mean just called you, but I mean what he created you to do, what your purpose is here on this earth, and how he wants to use you to glorify himself and to draw others to him, right? We cannot get sidetracked and think that this is as good as it gets, right? I am, like I said before, I try to plant seeds in the world where I can, and I try to let my little light shine, and I try to teach my baby what true riches are in this world and how important it is to just be careful how we move, because the world is waiting to point a finger at us, right? And the devil stays before the throne of God trying to accuse us day and night. We know that. So why give him what he wants? And it just makes me think of poor Job, right? How he had a whole lot he could have complained about, but he had true riches. He had faith in God. He had an understanding of God's plan for his life, right? Even though it hurt, even though it seemed like he would never get relief, he kept his eye on the prize. He didn't stop working as a servant, right? When things got hard, when he lost all his children and his riches, when he was covered with boils, I think it was. Oh, how could you even focus? I would have been praying, yeah, but my mind would not have been on much of anything but crying. And that's just me. That's Adrienne in the flesh. That's just who I am. Okay, but I don't know. I just want to encourage us again to not look at what others have, not attain and think we have hit the mark. Okay, we have to keep pressing towards the mark. And Christ gave us the example, because when he went to die on the cross, all the way up to that cross, we know they beat him, spit on him, they demeaned him. Oh, they treated him like he was nothing, and he was so much, right? But he still allowed himself to be nailed to that cross and stood up on that cross and hang on that cross, because his work was not finished until his life was sacrificed for us, right? And so, like I said, I don't want to make this video too long. I kind of just wanted it to be a supplement to the last video I did. And I am always here with the same thought in mind. As God uses me, I want to encourage you guys and help us to stay focused on this work. It's really easy to get sidetracked. You know, we're humans. We like things. I mean, I cannot lie. I really like football, but I'm not going to be having a football game playing in the background, you know, just so I can hear the score. I'm going to do what God has called me to do, and stay focused on that. And even when it's hard, and even when I'm tired, and even when I have everything I want, I don't ever want to forget, and I'm not just talking to you guys, I'm talking about me. I don't ever want to forget that God has a work he started in me, that he wants to finish in me, and that he wants glory to be brought to him and his son and their plan and their kingdom through me. And to me, it's an honor. So I think this rich man was exactly what Jesus said in this here parable. He was a doggone fool. Right. Why do you think? Because even though he has so much, it did not make him any wiser. He did not gain understanding that the work was not done. Okay? Somebody told me, I think I saw this on The Lottery Changed My Life. It's a show, right? Somebody said on there, if you're basically bad with money and you're broke, you're not going to be good with money just because you have millions. You're still going to be a fool. You know, you're still not going to be a good steward of what you have. And that's just such a shame, because I feel like we all have started somewhere. So we all have an opportunity to kind of learn what we can, right? While we're in a lesser state. And as God grows us, we grow. As he grows us and grows us in blessings as well as in understanding and truth, let it be balanced, right? Don't gain things and not understanding, you know. Don't gain money but still are a poor steward of the money, right? I don't try to point fingers, but I've been pretty cheap most of my life, and anything that I desire in this world, from the time I was a very young girl, I have no problem with working very hard to get it, as well as taking a very long time to attain it. Never had a problem with it, and it's never stopped me from having the things I want. And these are the values I try to teach my daughter. What's important is not what we put on us. I could have money to go buy whatever I want, but it's not going to help me gain what I need, okay? So I hope you guys liked the video. I hope it wasn't too scatterbrained. I love you guys dearly, and I appreciate you taking the time to watch. And please let me know what you think, and share your insight and your wisdom. I really like Luke chapter 12. Believe it or not, this is one of my favorite chapters. I think Luke 6 is as well in the Bible, that I could just read over and over and over again, because there are so many different things happening and how they all come together makes me want to just keep reading it. It's almost like a really good book. Okay. So I love you guys, and thanks for taking the time to check me out. Please leave your comments below. Okay. Have a good one.